the wonderful, fabulous parents of the bride, Mr. and Mrs. Rendina.
Okay, welcome everyone. I look around and I think this is beautiful, and I don't mean the room, I mean everyone here who's joining us today has come from far away. You've gone to great lengths to get here, and this is what makes today so special, so beautiful, to celebrate Angelia and Michael's wedding.
And I want to introduce specifically those who have traveled so far. Michael's grandfather, Vincent and Marge Schulte from Hilton Head. Michael's uncle, Pete Schulte and family from South Carolina. Michael's aunt, Julia Macropolis and family from Atlanta, Georgia. Michael's uncle, Ron and Barb Hatton from Denver. And representing Italy contingency, they sent their son from Italy here, Hans Lundgren. Thank you. My mother and brother from Florida, Teresa Stelzer and Adi Stelzer. Bobby Stelzer and his family from New York. Danny Stelzer from New York, my brother. My sister Gotza Weiss and her family from Denver. Teta Maria and Yana Cernogorcevic from New York and their family. My cousins Mada and Raj Puri from Washington, D.C. Cousins Phil and Ashley Rendina from Atlanta, Georgia. Cousin Mladen Micic from Seattle. And our dear friends who traveled so far, Mark Zorich from Texas, Jason Blom from Nashville, Alex Jacobs from Texas, Evan Langer from Ohio. This is incredible, and we couldn't be more honored and humbled to have you join us tonight.
Would also like to thank Pastor Jeff. I'm not sure where you're sitting, Pastor Jeff, but thank you for a beautiful and personal wedding ceremony. There you are over here. So we've heard about you for a couple years, and we've got to know you recently, and we're so happy you were part of today for Angelia and Michael. Thank you. I would also like to thank my wonderful wife for orchestrating all of this and just being so instrumental. My daughter Brittany, who has been amazing from the engagement all the way through today. Michael's mom, Therese, for bringing your input and traditions and your perspective into this whole day. You three ladies did a phenomenal job, so thank you so much. I really need to thank Teresa and Ron Romanelli, because you welcomed Angelia into your family long before today. And when we were losing Angelia to Springfield, 3 hours away, but still further than arm's length, so it was very, very comforting knowing that she was down there with your family, our family, and you welcomed her into your family, your great network of friends, all of you. So thank you so much for what you've done for Angelia. You know, when I walk around anywhere, I'm on the street and I see parents with little children, I love going up and saying, enjoy it while you can. My kids were that age last week, and now they're in college or they're out of college, or now one of my daughters is married. So it goes fast, and the best thing we could do is make sure we've spent time with them. It was last week, Angelia. We were playing on the floor, you were a little girl, and I extended my hand to give you a high five, and you looked up at me with those big blue eyes and did one of these. You gave me a high finger. The five was too much for you. So that has stuck with us today, and it will be forever, and that is our special thing. So. Through the years, we've enjoyed many family bike rides, got to coach your soccer team. Mom coached your volleyball team. We traveled the world with you watching your ice skating, and you've given us joy in every phase of your life. I think there was one defining moment that when I think back through all these years, Angelia, you may or may not realize this. It was 8th grade, and you were skating in your synchronized skating club, and you and your team were skating to win the U.S. Nationals to go on to the French Cup. And the day before, you got sick. You came down with the flu. Everyone is wondering, should Angelia skate? Should we get a substitute? And you found the inner strength to go out that next day and skate like a champion. And you and your team got to the Nationals and ultimately to the French Cup. But you found that inner strength that I think helped you in so many ways throughout life. It helped you forge a great path for your education, to a great path to the University of Missouri, to a great career. Here you are in the Illinois Senate office. Who would have thought? So we're just so proud of you, sweetheart. You do a great job. I have to share this. So you are awesome at checking in on family. You have coordinated a team to go help tornado victims clean up. So when I think of your kindness and how it's touched so many, we're very, very proud of you. So I have to say, as parents, we always want to make sure, we think we know best. Kids think they know best, but we have to, we've lived it, we know, right? So I don't know if everyone knows this. Angelia had the opportunity to study in between junior and senior year in college. So she had an opportunity to study in Bergamo, Italy, and we were all excited for her. And the night before she's leaving, of course, we're doing our family get-together, and Mom and Dad are giving the direction, the wisdom, the coaching. And one of the last things I said to her, now don't go over to Italy and meet some Italian. And she said, oh, don't worry, Dad, I'm not going to. So, good. Okay, so whoa. So I start talking about Italy, and I'm talking with my hands. So she goes on to her summer session. Everything is going well. And one day, her friend Mary, raise your hand. She's over there, and she said, Angelia, go with me over there. We're going to go meet some friends from home. They're here on vacation, so go with me today. And I know Angelia is thinking, I might as well. Dad said I can't meet any of the local people, so okay, I'll go. So she goes with Mary to the Trevi Fountain, the fountain of romance. And as the story goes, as she approaches the Trevi Fountain, she locks eyes with some guy named Michele Romanelli. So I know my daughter is thinking, Dad told me not to go meet an Italian, don't meet an Italian, don't meet an Italian. I'm sure that's because he doesn't want me to stay here. But an Italian from Illinois, I'm going for it. So she did. And we're happy you did. So dating scene goes on, they're back in the States, and one day I'm driving along in the car, Michael's driving, and he turns down the radio. Uh-oh. So he turns down the radio and said, Mr. Rendina, I just want to thank you for allowing me to date your daughter. And I'm thinking, who says that in real life, right? So this guy's up to something. Michael, I'm kidding. That was a very nice moment, actually, because it told me not only did you respect me, more importantly, you respected my daughter, Angelia. So thank you for that. Time goes on. A year ago this month, Angie, Angelia, Brittany, Brian, they're on vacation. Anthony's at college. 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, I get a phone call. Hey, Mr. Rendina, it's Michael. I'm coming up to Chicago this weekend to hang out with my friends from Northwestern. So I thought I'd call and see if you want to have dinner tonight. So, sure, absolutely, let's have dinner. We arranged, he said, what if we go to the place where you and Angelia have dinner all the time, downtown Naperville? Okay, we're in. So I hang up the phone and I say to myself, what a nice guy. He's coming up to hang out with his friends over the weekend, but he wants to first stop and have dinner with the old guy. As soon as you say that to yourself, you realize what dinner with the old guy means. So I almost called you back to cancel just to mess with you. Couldn't do it. So then I show up to the restaurant, and there's Michael, dressed blue jeans, white shirt, and a sport coat. That's my look. So he's not taking anything to chance here. He is covering all bases. And it was really a great experience. Go in, order some wine or food, and he asked me for my blessing for Angelia's hand in marriage. And it didn't take long for me to say, and on behalf of Angie, who wasn't there at the moment, but I know Angie feels the same way, that we would love to have you as a son-in-law, Michael, and that would mean the world to us. So it was a nice evening together, and so that was one thing. Then he goes and hangs out with his friends over the weekend. That's not enough to meet with the father. Sunday, he meets Anthony at college to get Anthony's blessing. He's asking Anthony. So Anthony, thank you for doing your part in this too, because I think Michael, he was trying to get a petition signed. He thought if we all signed off on it, he was golden. So I'm not sure how much Angelia had to say. But anyway, time went on, and well, I'll speed this up. I know I'm getting the tap. So a couple weeks ago, Angelia called me, and she was nervous about a couple little minor details. And I said, sweetheart, don't worry over these. Don't get stressed. And I was actually happy she was getting stressed, because that means it's all coming together. I said, the main thing is, no one in this room will notice, so the main thing, the important thing is you have the right man. So, Michael. We welcome you to the family of Michael. You are a kind, spiritual man with great values, and we love you. So, if everyone will please raise your glass to Angelia and Michael, to health, happiness, and endless love. And we'll say this in Italian and Serbian. Cent'anni Givali.
Hey, Givali. Thank you.
Hello. All right. Ross, CJ, I'll make this really easy for you to follow me, so don't worry. For those of you who don't know me, I am Brittany. I'm Angelia's older and some might say less sensitive sister. Actually, all would say that I'm the less sensitive sister, but for those of you who do know me, it'll be a shocker when I start bawling my face off tonight. These girls know I couldn't even get through a toast at her bachelorette party without crying, so I'm probably screwed. But before that happens, I want to point out how fitting it is that you two are getting married today of all days. First of all, 8 has always been a really lucky number for our family. I was born on the 8th in '88. Angelia was born on the 8th. She's getting married on the 8th. Not only that, but October has always been a really important month for our family. We've got Clayton, Vincent, Anthony, Nana, Stana. We've got Michael's grandmother, Mary, and Brian, and I'm sure I'm missing a ton of people, but all with birthdays in October. So I'd say that you guys picked pretty much the luckiest day of the year to get married. Well, I was gonna say let's give a round of applause for all the October birthdays, so let's do that. Anyway, my dad recently commented on a photo of us on Facebook, which was a big enough deal on its own because Dad does not participate in social media. But he said, "Love how close you two are." And I imagine that any parent has a major sense of pride when they see their kids have grown up to be friends and not just siblings. But I love it too. Angelia and I had that relationship growing up where I really thought the only thing we had in common was our last name, which, funny enough, we don't even have that anymore. But when we were little, I couldn't quite understand how my mom made something so different from me. She liked jewelry. I'm allergic to it. She liked frilly clothing in the color pink, and I tend to stick with black. She played with dolls. I cut their hair off. She'd be a princess for Halloween, and I'd be a witch. I think you guys get the picture. But based on what she got me to wear today, I think she has the last laugh. Anyway, in our teen years, I don't think we spoke unless I was screaming at you for stealing clothes from my closet. But then one day, there was a turning point, a point where all of my guy friends suddenly wanted to hang around my hot little sister, and it turned out you weren't so bad to have around. But then, it was my turn to go to college, and then it was your turn. And to this day, I really, really regret that we never got to live in the same city as adults. But it's really great that you guys are moving to Chicago. No? In all seriousness, the craziest moment was a few years ago when I realized that my annoying little sister turned into a beautiful, slightly less annoying woman. I'm so happy that despite our differences, you're still my best friend. And yes, Mom, I hate admitting that you were right when you said that she would be one day. Even though you're my little sister, and this is where it's gonna happen, I knew it, even when I was practicing, dang it. Even though you're my little sister, I admire you in so many ways. I admire how hard you work in everything that you do, in figure skating, academically, and even now in the career that you've built for yourself in a part of the world I couldn't even understand. Politics, I don't get it, but you're a rock star. I admire who you are, what you stand for as a person, and how much you love your family. You're driven, smart, compassionate, and you have so much love to give. Which brings me to Michael. Michael, I'm so happy to have you as part of the family, and that you didn't end up just being a great story from her time studying abroad. Now, I know that having a sister is new to you, so I've been trying my best over the last few years to give you a taste of what Anthony's put up with for his whole life. The best thing for me is that it's way more entertaining when you do dumb things because we're the same age, and I expect it from him because he's my little brother, but this has just been great. And also, I think that it's really fun that you're trying to learn more about baseball to fit in with our family. Angelia and Anthony, you'll both agree, we were pretty lucky growing up with Mom and Dad as examples. I mean, when we were really little, it was kind of weird how much you two cuddled and kissed and danced around the kitchen, and yeah, gross, okay. But and we know you partly did it to make us laugh when we were growing up, but as we got older, we just got more and more happy for you and the fact that you two got to marry your best friends. And we kind of got jealous at one point that you set the bar really, really high for marriage, but I'm glad that you did because I'd say that your kids are following in your footsteps. Now, starting a life together, and more importantly, living together, is going to be a journey, and for that, I wish you both patience. Angelia, I wish you patience for when Michael does dangerous things without thinking, and when he buys things for the house that aren't approved, and when you need to teach him to do basic tasks like mail a letter with a stamp on the right side. Michael, I wish you patience for every time Angelia asks you to watch The Bachelor or makes you late for a reservation because she's applying her 38th layer of mascara, or when she asks you to kill every spider within 100 feet of the house. And I wish myself patience for the next time that Michael goes into one of his verbose 10-minute monologues about something he learned in med school. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, Michael, you're thoughtful, you're smart, you're going to be a great dad one day, and I know that you're the perfect complement to my sister's soul. As Ellis reminded us yesterday, you can tell a lot about someone by the people that surround them. And over the course of this engagement, I hope you can both see how lucky you are. Angelia, obviously I'm biased by our family, and we're pretty amazing, but last month I got to spend time with your incredible girlfriends, and the fact that they'll always be there for you and everything you do speaks volumes. Michael, your family and friends have continued to impress me throughout the years, and I know that you have such a strong support system to get you through any challenge that life throws at you. And that is why I could not be happier to have my sister join your family. And also, I'm a little excited that she's stuck with 3 brothers now. Anyway, at some point, I hope you two can stop and enjoy this moment and look at all the love that surrounds you. I think we can all agree that we're really lucky that my sister's wish from the Trevi came true. I love you both. Congrats to the Romanellis. Oh my God, okay. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Brittany. That was beautiful. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Michael's brother, Ross. I haven't even started yet. This is great. So Michael, whenever he introduces me, he typically starts by introducing me as his little brother, emphasis on the little. And I want to start by thanking all of you for coming out to celebrate today. It really means the world to us. And a special thank you to the Rendinas for putting this all together. You've done a great job. It's a beautiful wedding. And my parents, all the work and time you've been putting in, everything, the thought, energy, all of it. It's just a beautiful place. Thank you very much. So Michael and Angelia have quite the incredible how we met story, and I'd like to share that with you all tonight. I know Mr. Rendina hit on it a little bit, so I'll kind of tell the story from our side of our perspective. So our family was traveling through Rome on my parents' 25th anniversary, on their 25th wedding anniversary, and this was the same time that the lovely Mary Sheehan was studying abroad at Mizzou. Now, Mary and I are good high school friends, and we thought it would be fun to meet up and go out one of the nights. So we decided to meet at the Trevi Fountain, and Michael and I had previously not met any of her Mizzou friends. So right from the very beginning, right from the introductions, Michael and Angelia just locked eyes, and they just started talking, and they just couldn't stop. It was intense. And so after the Trevi Fountain, they had this great introduction. We decided to go to one of the bars, and we decided to go dancing. And for those of you who know Michael, he went out on the dance floor, and he was dancing by himself, having a great time in true Michael fashion. And he was out there all alone, and who came but Angelia came to his rescue. And they just danced the night away. They were inseparable from there on. So on the way home, Michael and I were talking, and he just could not stop talking about this girl. And it was 4 or 5 a.m. Sorry, Mom and Dad. It was a little late. But we were just walking home. We're the only two traveling the streets in Rome, and he just kept talking about this girl and how great she was. And it was just a great love story. And now, as much as I would love to take credit for this great love story, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I think that there is a higher power involved. And I think that we have God to thank for this. And these two wouldn't be together without God making that happen. We truly are blessed. So on the bachelor party, we took the time to go around the table at one of our first dinners, and we all wanted to say a little something about Michael. It was incredible to hear how much of an impact Michael has made on all of these different guys from just completely different backgrounds. And one theme kind of remained true throughout everyone's story, and that was that Michael is passionate and that he's so caring about others. Whether it be lifting someone's spirits when they're down, going to celebrate an accomplishment with one of us, or even traveling up to Chicago almost every single weekend he could to be with our buddy Zick after his injury. And he would talk him through the recovery process and help him in his true time of need. The theme just remains true that Michael is always going to be there for someone when he's needed. And he has been such a great role model to CJ and I, and I honestly don't know where I'd be without you, and I'm just so proud of you. As much as I love having two brothers, and as great as it's been to have two brothers all the time, I'm so happy I'm finally gaining a sister. Angelia, we are so excited to have you become part of our family. You are the daughter my mom has been begging for since basically forever. Even our dog Arturo was a boy, and it's just been rough. So the boys and I are so ecstatic to have someone who can talk politics, religion, or shopping with my mom without one of us getting a migraine or my dad falling asleep mid-conversation. My dad is constantly reminding us that blood is thicker than water. When Michael moved down to Carbondale, CJ and I knew we had to help regardless, and we were going to go down there. And it was a pleasant surprise to find out that Angelia wanted to come and was willing to help. So this trip, it turned out to be one of the easiest moving experiences I've ever been a part of, and a huge thank you, and part of that was due to Angelia. It was at that point that I realized that she would be a great addition to the family. Growing up in a household of boys have been a lot of fun, a lot of fights have occurred. But we still have a lot to learn when it comes to having a sister, and I truly have no doubt that you will teach us plenty in no time. So with that, welcome to the family, Ange. Now let's raise our glasses and cheers to the newlyweds. From Rome to the Romos. Cheers. Thanks, buddy. Now I'm going to introduce the comedian of the family, my younger brother, CJ. I have high aspirations for this one.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, calm it down, Romanellis. Here we go. I also want to thank everyone for coming out from so far. I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Rendina for this spectacular event. It's truly been amazing. Also to my parents for helping out along the way. Also want to thank Brittany and Ross for the great speeches and stealing all the good content. For those of you guys don't know, I'm CJ. I'm Michael's youngest little brother. And I first met him in 1993 when I was born. I think it says a lot about a man when he chooses his two brothers to be both of his best men. Mostly it says, I have no friends. I'm kidding. We all know that's not true. When Michael asked both Ross and I to be his best men, I can honestly say I wasn't that surprised. And not because I'm that full of myself and I thought he would pick me, or that I knew he would pick Ross, but because of who Michael is as a person and who his character is. Even when we were younger as little kids, Michael was always the one to try and include everyone and make sure everyone had a good time. When we were younger, playing football with the Donenvilles and the Losies, to Ross and I, the only thing that mattered was winning. But to Michael, it was about including everyone and making sure everyone had a good time. Michael, he took his big brother role pretty seriously when we were younger, and even if he doesn't realize it, he did. When I was younger, there was a time at dive practice when I couldn't learn a new dive, and Michael knew the best way to incentivize me, and so he offered me $20 to try a new dive. And so after Michael's guidance and the incentive of the $20, I finally did learn how to do that dive. And Michael, he paid me the $20, I'll give him that, but It wasn't until later that day that I found out Michael had stolen the $20 out of my wallet before tie practice. That's beside the point, though. Michael has helped shape me into the man I am today. So, if you hate me, you can blame him. As the oldest brother, Michael certainly paved the path for both Ross and I. He's taught me lessons in life that I haven't even told him that he's taught me. Some of you may know, about 10 years ago, Michael had a traumatic brain injury, and there was a night where I was at the Donvilles, and I didn't know if Michael was going to make it through the night, and I didn't know if the next morning I would only have one brother. Michael, you taught me to cherish life every single day. You taught me to cherish the loved ones around us. You taught me public speaking. I'm sorry. Michael, to be here today on your wedding night, on the happiest day of your life, it truly is a blessing, and I'm going to cherish this day forever. Sorry, I lost my spot. Even though Ross and I are your best men tonight, I have no doubt in my mind that you are the best man in this room. Sorry, Ross. Michael, you truly are one of the best guys I know. And one of the clearest ways you've shown your character is in the woman you've chosen to be your wife. I kind of expected to be the best looking person in here tonight, but Angelia, you clearly have me beat. Ange, you are truly beautiful tonight. Michael, you didn't even shave. You know, when I was younger, there was a time where all I wanted was a sister, and I asked my mom, and she was past the point of having children at that point. And I even started looking into adoption, but as time went on, I kind of began to realize that I might not have that dream. But tonight, that dream came true, Ange. Lost my spot again. Ange, I am so happy to call you my sister. It's great to have you as part of the family, and for all the things that you've done for my brother, I really don't think he would be the man he is today without you. And you have been so supportive and caring for him throughout these past few years of medical school. I'm not sure if he would be in the spot he was today if it weren't for you. Well, I guess you guys are getting married, so he wouldn't, but sorry. You two truly are meant for each other. I look up to both of you and aspire to have a love like yours someday. Thank you both for being great role models of a great relationship. And thank you for teaching me what love looks like. I look forward to seeing you two grow in love and in life together. You two truly are #relationship goals. So cheers to Michael and Angelia.
They can clean the tables. I just want to say one thing. Despite the fact that I usually can't grab a microphone and say one thing, I want to say how proud I am of my son Michael and Angelia. And I love you guys. I love you like my son, Michael. I love CJ and Ross. And I don't know where you guys got that from, but that's pretty good material. Give it up, man. Woo! It's that next generation. I'm pretty impressed. I love you guys very much. I want to thank the Rendinas for a wonderful party. I want to thank my wife for putting this all together. I want to thank my wife for helping raise my children to be such men that I'm very proud of. And this will be my shortest speech. Amen.
I guess my brothers aren't so little anymore. And now I have an amazing new sister. I'd like to just reiterate everything that I said and thank Mr. and Mrs. Rendina for such an amazing night, and our parents for the love and support throughout everything and raising us to be the young gentlemen that we now are after hearing Ross and CJ's and Brittany's speech. It's really amazing. And man, how blessed am I that I have this beautiful, stunning love of my life that I'd like to now invite to the dance floor. Thank you all for being here, and I can't wait to get this dance started.